Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I want to talk about something that I came across the other day. I was talking to my dad. Evidently, Ludacris moved to Ghana, I think, and I think somebody else moved to Africa as well. What about Akon? Roland Martin went and visited over there. He's got back, I think, last week. There have been Caucasian movie stars that when Trump got elected, they said they were going to leave the country. And I remember a lot of people like, good, leave, you commies on. And I just think about it, I'm like, you guys don't realize how many people would if they have the money and the means to do so. Those are people who, if they don't work for the next 3 years, they're going to be good. They just won't buy no cars, nothing like that. They're going to be good, bro. Like, if they don't work for another 5 years, they're not going to be hurting. We work for a living. There's a lot of people out here who feel the same way. There's a lot of folks not paying attention. So, I think was it not Brad Pitt? Might have been Matt Damon. One of those guys was talking about leaving the country, going to Canada or something when Trump got elected. And I thought that was kind of premature when I heard that, them talking about leaving the country. You know, I did. I thought it was kind of premature and sort of extreme. Last night, 4 or 5 days ago, Trump gave the order to have the general, the Iranian general, murdered. He blew up his motorcade, he killed him and his son-in-law. And he was, from what I understand, he was meeting with the Iraqis. They were going to have a discussion. Then I heard he was actually going to see these people who have been killed. He was going to go to their funerals. And he was traveling in the open because I guess he didn't realize these devils are liars, man. They don't care. These devils are sneaky, deceitful liars. And they have no... It's just... I remember them talking about suicide bombers and just how evil they are. But now I realize the Caucasians are worse. Those are folks that have nothing, that are just fighting back. The Caucasian is much worse because they've got all the means, technology and stuff. And they do that. You know what I mean? They're worse because they have the technology. When you have technology, you're supposed to be a little bit more patient because you can be. You know what I mean? I'm getting off subject. So Iran last night fired off 15 to 30 rockets at several targets, American targets. Didn't kill anybody. Just let them know what's going on. And we watched that, and I realized what Brad Pitt and all these guys are talking about, and it may get worse. This is the sum of our fears, sum of all fears right here. This is it. This may be one of the worst military threats we face in my lifetime, because Iraq never attacked America. Afghanistan never attacked America. It never happened. For Trump to do this right after he'd been impeached, this is a military threat. I don't say that to go after any Iranian people or the Iranian government. They don't have to do to defend themselves from an empire. But we are getting ourselves into a serious situation. It's like you're in a club and one of your people you with the club with starts a fight with some big biker gang, and you're like, yo, I'm not really for. Not that you weak or you're cowardly. It's just that you know if you fight these men, it's a good chance you'll get hurt. It's a good chance y'all gonna tear some shit up. It's a good chance you're gonna have to kill this man or seriously hurt him to make him stop fighting you. And Trump is that guy that's just getting you into trouble. I would leave America in a heartbeat if I could. And at one time I was like, well, these white guys that say, you don't like America, leave. I would, but I want to take my stuff. I'm at the point now, if somebody gave me a one-way ticket somewhere and I halfway had a chance for a job somewhere overseas, I'd probably take it. Like I'd break my lease, leave my car. This is getting bad, and I have to give kudos to the Iranians for having restraint. I mean, I told my brothers, this is true. This whole series of events, from Iran stopping those boats that were traveling through the Strait of Hormuz, one of them was leaking oil, and it turned out I think it was stolen or something. They were stealing oil. I'm sorry, they were stealing oil. Or those boats that blew up. One of the boats got blown up, and the Iranians were like, "Listen, we're going to investigate, and when the time comes, we're going to take action." They didn't threaten nobody. It wasn't none of this. Oh, retard. No. It was very calm. It was very, very patient, and they released the tapes. I'm going back. The boat that they took, they released the tapes of them responding to the guy. Hey, what are y'all doing? And people turned, basically showing you the series of events of how you're like, this is not normal. This is like the police pulling somebody over and trying to talk, and the person pulls off. Like, this is not stuff normal people do. This gives us a reason to investigate. But with Trump, with white supremacy, they don't see it that way. To them, everybody's a threat. They don't look at anybody as what would this person do. They don't look at anything from anybody's point of view but their own. That's something I learned about white supremacy. So it is very refreshing to be around Iran, to see them compose themselves, to see them put forward messages, to put forward the facts in a very calm, concise way. It is so refreshing. Here in America, they lie. Then they get found out. They stand on those lies and tell new lies. This is politics. This is what I've seen over the last few years. This is what they do in the West. This is what Trump's people do. This is what America does. No moral, no honor here. No honor. So it is, I have to say that. And them shooting and missing into that grounds, not hurting anybody, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for not hurting anybody. I want to say thank you for not escalating what is already a series of events Trump himself is escalating. I want to thank you for, from what I understand, they told the Iraqis what they were going to do, and I'm sure the Iraqis told America. So basically making sure no Americans would be killed. I want to thank you. I want to give thanks, because it's people like you, it's nations like you that prevent wars. And I know it must be terrifying. I know it must be frustrating to have to hold back when at every turn you're being threatened, at every turn you're being disrespected. It must be hard. But me, as an American, I want to thank the Iranian government and the Iranian people for having that restraint, for having that composure, and also realizing that this devil will do things to get you in stuff. Let me say that too. Going back to USS Liberty and things like that, they'll do stuff to let you kill their soldiers to start a war. They'll do that. They've done that. America has done that. So I just want to be very clear here. I, as an American, am thankful. A lot of people, myself included, was worried Iran would attack targets in America. Hopefully it doesn't happen. It has not happened yet. It's been, 4 or 5 days since the general was killed. So hopefully no actions are taken on the mainland. I don't see Iran as that. I don't see them as that kind of a country. Obviously, if things got bad enough, I'm sure they would, but hope they do not. Hope they continue with their posture of deterrence, their posture of just being poised, being ready, being composed, but not being an aggressive, belligerent nation like the United States. So I guess this is a thank you. I may be the only American out here that woke up this morning thinking about that. I may be the only American that's praying about that. But there are some of us out here like that. We don't want war. We're sitting here watching a 20-year-long war fought on the base of a lie in Afghanistan and still in Iraq right now. I'm disgusted. I'm embarrassed for what my country's done, for what we got ourselves into. Not all Trump's fault. And it's almost like a write-off. Iraq, it's like a write-off. It's like we shouldn't have went in there. We shouldn't have done that. But then it's like, I know they're all messed up. Their economy's messed up. Their government is corrupt. I'm almost conservative in a way. I'm a conservative because, I really, I know it's a waste of money. It's a waste of money to continue sending troops and resources over there. We should pull out, but Iran will take over, obviously. Anyway, I just wanted to make this video to say that. Thank you for not escalating what is already a very hot situation like that. Very hot right now. I want to thank you because every country, every race has zealots. It isn't just a Iranian thing or a Persian thing. Every country has zealots. And I want to thank you for taking heed to your better nature, to your better voices, and not the voices that are crying out for blood and for war. Because as we know, this devil, he likes war. He dwells in chaos. If that wasn't true, tell me why America's been in war for almost 200 plus years. See, off on tangent for me. That's why when they talk about socialism not working and all that, they don't know the history. Because I look at American history and I see the CIA basically taking out every democratically elected person that simply want to nationalize their resources, whether it be bananas or fruit or whatever it may be, or oil fields. The CIA goes and assassinates them, murders them and stuff. And then the countries, they're shitholes, but this is why. They've been raped. They've been destroyed for decades. Okay? Half a century of destruction, ecological destruction or otherwise. You've never had socialism or communism because you never had, they weren't allowed to live normally. If I'm always being attacked, I'm not going to be the full human being that I should be as a man because I'm going to be always worried about this and worried about that. I mean, the white boys do too when you talk like this. They say, oh no, why orange man bad, capitalism bad. They try to make fun of it. But really what it is let me tell you something. I said this before. When white people just do shit, I think in the future it hurts them. What do I mean by that? Rosewood, Black Wall Street, things like that. When white people just say, fuck it, I'm going to go down here and kill. I'm going to go down here right now and kill 200 people. Why? Because I don't like their black asses. I don't like the fact they got money. I'm going to kill all these people and I'm going to get away with it. You don't get away with it because the law was on your side back then. When you do that, I think down the road that hurts the discussion of conservatism and all that. And all you can do is take it out of the history books, Black Wall Street and all that stuff. And push this narrative of blacks being inferior while taking out the facts that when black people did make it, you went and machine gunned them and dropped bombs on them. You see how that works? There's always a counter narrative going on. Y'all subjects. Like when I was reading about Celadon, it was on AR15.com. And these guys are all talking about how it's messed up. One guy come on and talking about, so this means capitalism is bad? And what that is, you know what that is? Nobody was saying capitalism is bad. Nobody was talking about capitalism, socialism. Nobody was talking about that. I say this all the time. The Caucasian always uses sarcasm to distract from what you're really saying because he can't allow it to ferment. That's why they're always on black Facebook pages and stuff. You'd say, why y'all be in black folks' business? Why not leave them alone? They have to do that. They have to always be in the mix. They have to be in the flow. They have to always try to interfere and disrupt. They have to always do that. They can't allow things to flow naturally because they love chaos. They love destruction. They were talking about trucking companies screwing drivers and abandoning drivers. And I didn't realize there'd been that many companies, Jevic and Jevic, Arrow, Falcon, the one you had recently, Celadon, you had another one years ago, Oliver Tolson. You had quite a few companies that have just abandoned people. Drivers don't do anything bad. They just and the fact of the matter is, these are people, these human beings, and you're abandoning them. And then they gotta find their way home. They gotta rush and try to make up this. You gotta rush and try to make a load, and then wait for weeks to get paid. Fuck that bullshit. That's what conservatism is all about. You're expecting me to bust my ass under a position or circumstances that are not good for me. Where basically for them, conservatism is a system in which you should be happy to have a job. That's how they see it. They don't see it like, okay, people should be skilled and good at what they do, meritocracy. No, it's you should be happy to have a job. And if you get fired, you get abandoned on the road, too bad. No, man. That's what AOC is talking about. That's what Bernie says. And see, that's what these guys are talking. They're talking to those truck drivers. They're saying that, look, man, not in so many ways, but they're saying that, listen, man, you should not be treated like this. You should not have to settle. And I'm not talking about somebody that has to be at a job right now. I'm not knocking the drivers. But you deserve better than this. That's the point. That's the discussion at hand. And for these white boys, they have to constantly get in there and disrupt it and be snarky and sarcastic, and you don't like communism. Oh, what I'm saying? What color is your sunset? What color is your sky? Doesn't matter what color my sky is. You know what color my sky is? My color is about having a reasonable wage, reasonable benefits for people, treat people like they're human, keeping your word. But like I said, these basic things. This is what I'm standing for. And you want to push ideology by attacking people as communists. You don't realize how many people you know what happens when you do that? You alienate people. You do. You alienate people. Because you're making it to where they can't even have a discussion. I know that's what they do. They have to do that. I get it. Because their narrative is for rich people. And if you're not making six figures, that narrative doesn't help you. So it's all about you're a commie, you're a fag, you're this, you're that. Or years ago, it would have been you're a nigger lover. It's the same stuff. It's the same narrative. It's a little bit different. Take the N-word out. They're not calling people faggots, but it's the same stuff, man. They have to do that to distract from your message, to distract from what you're saying. And if you don't believe me, look at the article I just told you, but look at the comments. That people are talking about drivers. And see, what gets me is conservatives want to do that. Conservatives come out here right now and say, you know what? That's wrong. And we're going to put money aside for these drivers. We're gonna set aside some kind of way. We're going to pass some kind of bill where trucking companies can't do that. You can't. You have to give drivers a fair notice, or conservatives could say, you got to put money aside. Like you know how when you buy, I got this apartment, right? I had to pay a deposit. Even some hotel rooms, you got to pay a deposit. But if you're paying, you got to pay a deposit basically. And if the room isn't messed up, you get the deposit back. If you don't smoke in the room or you don't have dogs in the room, something like that, you get the money back. Conservatives can do that. Conservatives can do it right now. They can say, look, we have all these drivers out here being disrespected and treated dirty. And so we're going to do this to protect these guys. I'm going to give you a small thing they could do. Trucking companies have something called drive right or hire right. What that is, they can fuck up your record if you damage a truck or whatever. It's based upon all what they say. Curbing a tire, anything. Blowing a tire, anything. So they do that. They and these drivers that are getting abandoned on the road have to run that last load, or they'll have an abandonment put on their record. Listen to me. Conservatives want to really be helpful to the people. They can say, listen, man, if a trucking company runs out of business, they should immediately have no more access to the higher right DAX system, period. If that's what I'm saying. Conservatives, they could do things to help the working man, but they don't. And they make a mockery out of screwing you. And then when you come out here and speak about it, you're a communist. I think you really alienate people. I mean, maybe that's the goal, but you really alienate a lot of people when you do that, because a lot of folks aren't communist socialists. They just want a fair wage. They want to be treated with respect. You know, I just think when you do this kind of stuff, you bury the lead. And that's good. It makes it easier to have these discussions. It makes it easier to bring people over to my side of the point of view. But they've always got to do that. They've always got to, you're a communist, you're a fag, you're this, just like back in the day, you're a nigga lover. They have to always do that. They've got to always use these throwaway lines to attack you. And I'm at the point now where I love it, because I know what that means. When they say communist or socialist, it's not the same as that official definition. It's not. It's not. My idea of socialism that they're talking about, for one thing, I don't really talk about this stuff, so it would honestly be very basic. My idea would be I agree with the red flag laws. Hell yeah, I agree with that. I agree with the idea of more control over the president and the war powers. I agree with raising the minimum wage. I agree with a lot of this stuff. Blank period. I agree with a lot of this stuff, man. And I don't know. Peace, y'all.